What's going on, guys? It's been a minute since I've gotten a video out. I just got some more parts in to start some other projects that I've been wanting to do for a while. One of those was a rear wing. I was lucky enough to have a buddy that came up with one that he was selling, so I was able to pick that one up, and the goal is to chassis mount the wing to the car via the frame rail, so the bracket will come through the back bumper and then up behind the rear trunk lid there, so that way the wing isn't actually attached to the trunk. So we'll see how it goes. I was able to acquire a bracket that was designed for a Subaru, which I found out that the frame rails are pretty close, so I think we can make something work with that. So let's just see how it goes. Alright, so I went ahead and chopped up the bracket for attaching the wing stand, and we mocked it up, got our holes drilled so that way we can hopefully align it with the factory bumper and then slide that over top of it, and then that'll set me up to install the wing stands and then put the wing on top, and hopefully it should work out. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Alright guys, so just picking up on my chassis mount wing that I started a week ago. I have gotten more parts for it from Battle Aero. I've gotten their upright arms, and I've already modified their brackets, which I've used on the car, and so this is what I've got going on so far, and I think it looks pretty sweet. And the other cool thing about it too is that it's got these arms on it, and what those do is it allows me to pivot this arm down, and then it'll hang it there so that way I can get into the trunk and access the battery. I really don't have any other reason to get into the trunk other than the battery itself, so that'll come in pretty handy. And then it also has some lock pins that you can put in here as well. I've got some quick release pins that'll go in those holes to make sure this thing doesn't accidentally come loose when we don't want it to. But so yeah, that's where we're at so far. I'm gonna finish up the install here on the other side and get everything tightened down. Then we can see about attaching our wing to the top here and see how that goes. So I've got the wing stands installed, and I've got my quick pin releases installed with safety wires, just in case they do for some crazy reason fall out, they don't get lost or end up on a track or something crazy like that. And now I've got the wing temporarily mounted. The wing is actually from a Street Faction kit that I was able to get from my buddy for like next to nothing. That's what was driving this project. So the wing doesn't quite fit with the brackets that I have, which is okay. I've got plenty of room to make it fit, and later I may go with a different wing with different brackets on that wing to fit a little bit better and give me a little bit more angle. But I think it's going to work out pretty good. I just have to see about figuring out where I want to drill my holes and go from there. But this is what I've got so far. I think it looks pretty killer. I don't know anyone else on the internet that's got a chassis mounted wing on a Ford Contour SVT, so it'd be pretty unique. But so like what I was saying here, normally the Battle Arrow wing, I think this is for like their largest wing, which is a 74-inch wingspan, and it's got pretty wide mounts. And with this, I wanted to have those mounts on the inside for the wing, so that way from the outside you don't notice it as much, that it doesn't cover the whole width. And I think what I'll also end up doing is potentially sliding this more towards the middle so it's centered, and then be able to adjust my angle of attack on the front there. So, and then of course for the side to side, because this thing, I mean, of course it's not bolted to the top, but it's pretty flimsy at the top currently, but I've got some rods that I plan to use that will create an X and tighten that whole thing up. Alright, so I was trying to come up with a way to create some support rods for the back of the wing stands, and I didn't want to just use like all thread because I thought it looked kind of cheap. So I kind of like went way out of the way and purchased some splitter rods from Professional Awesome Racing that you can make your own custom lengths, and they have clevis ends, so that way I can control the angle and make everything nice and tight. And then of course I went out of my way to buy their like super nice fancy mounts that say Professional Awesome on them, so should look kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and assemble them, at least on one end with the compression fittings, and go ahead and see where I want to mount these things at on the car. And then they also have pins on them, so that way if I ever need to pull them off for whatever reason, I don't have to unbolt everything. I just pull a C-clip or a whatever the hell you call these things. What do you call these things, Sally?
A clip.
A clip. There you go. Sure, we'll go with that. It sounds good. So, it'll all work out some kind of way. I was just buying shit on the internet, so if it doesn't work, we'll know why.
Only bought it for the stickers.
Only bought it for the stickers. That's what I was most excited about here. Alright, so we got our 4 compression fittings, 4 pins, 4 clips, Allen head hardware for the bases, and some washers, and our rods. So I've never used these before, so I'm not going to try to act like I know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to shove it in there. Ha! Let's see how that goes. Like so. Easy. And I just tighten that end up. And then let's see what size it is. Of course it's not what I already had out.
Not so professional awesome, huh?
No, it is. It is awesome. Every bit of it. If I can find an 11mm wrench, it'll be even more awesome. Amazing. Alright. 11.
buddy Tyler here. Alright, I'm not going to wrench that on there just yet. And then take one of these ends, put one of our clips in here, like so. You can see that good. Tyler, if you want to follow me over here. I don't quite know how this is going to work out just yet, but
so it's like day 4 or 5 of this project. That's kind of taken a lot longer than I initially anticipated. But now we're just wrapping it up, putting the cross bracing on the wing stands, and we should be pretty much done with this project. So I'm just gonna tie that up now.